Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Petersburg, and boy oh boy, do I have something sparkly for you. It's this car right here. This is an updated refresh 2024 Jaguar XF R Dynamic. But before we get into this sleek four-door sedan, let's talk about what's going on here. Jaguar, that iconic British brand, goes back for decades. Amazing models like the XK120, the XK140. What's cool about those cars is that the 120 and the 140 related to their top speed, because back in the day, to get a car to go 120 miles per hour, that was pretty big news. So why not name your car after that top speed that was accumulated through the performance? Now, what's fascinating is, of course, we've talked about the Jaguar E-Type and how Enzo Ferrari himself said that that was the most beautiful car he's ever seen. It's kind of crazy that today Jaguar has kind of lost some of that magic, but they're working really hard to kind of reel things back in with the F-Type, the F-Pace SVR, and this updated XF. But what I want to find out is, if you're looking for a sporty sedan, there's lots to choose from, guys. Let's start off with that newcomer, the Genesis G70, BMW 3 Series, Audi S3. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. What I want to find out is this XF P300 with all-wheel drive? And I'll explain what the heck P300 means. Is this the best new one to buy? Let's go ahead, let's dive in and find out. Right off the bat, the color. I'm gonna have Steven work his camera magic to show you that this is not black. It's actually a really amazing metallic British racing green. You have that British brand, you gotta have British racing green. At the front of the business, you'll notice that Jaguar J-shaped daytime running lamp with the LED turn signal and your LED headlights. On the lower section, you do have these large vent areas, but guess what? They are functional only on the corners. So all of this is blocked off. You do have corner air curtains. My recommendation would be to either smooth this out and just paint it British racing green on the interior and get rid of this design, or bring in some fog lamps or something. Let me know how you feel about this section. So we're gonna give it a half a zonk. Half of it is non-functional, half of it is. Now, as we come across that low slung nose, there's that roaring Jaguar right there in the center, forward-facing camera. Love the way they hid the camera within the grille. Very clean design. There's shutters that open and close to allow more or less air in. You got your R Dynamic badge. And then the way that they sculpted this lower grille area, very, very sporty and very unique. Parking this next to a G70, the G70 has a grille the size of home plate at Wrigley Field. This definitely is a classier look, and even looks classier than the BMW for sure. Now, when we rise up onto the hood, you do get a bulge. So we get some bulge. You could put one of those balled up socks away, because we have a slight bulge with that beautiful, I'm almost mesmerized by this British racing green. And then we come around the bend. What are we working with? Wheel and tires. Love this satin black with the gloss black insert, split spoke design. I almost spit all over the place. Split spoke design. Would have been nice to have some kind of Brembo caliper or something a little bit more sportier than what you see here. But this is a 20-inch wheel, 255 on the width, 35 series sidewall, and this does have all-wheel drive. So we got power going to the front, power going to the rear. Coming down the side, you do have this grill area. Would have been nice if that was functional. It is not, so that gets a whole zonk, but I do like the leaping Jaguar. That's the classic badge from this brand. You do have gloss black on the mirror caps, 360-degree cameras, standard size sunroof. It is a bummer that this does not have a panoramic sunroof, but that green, it's speaking to me. Just speaking to me. It's saying, Joe, come go on throttle with me. Don't worry, we're gonna be doing that. That lower side skirt extension, all color match, working our way towards the rear. You got 255s, all four corners. Like the way they have a real rear glass window, not just a piece of gloss black, and I like the way they flared out the trim coming into that rear fender design. And then kicking it around, I like the way you have a trunk lid spoiler, color matched, emerald green, the leaping Jaguar with that logo. I remember when I was a kid in my dad's shop, whenever he'd have a Jag in the shop, That's when they had the actual hood ornament of the Leaping Jag, and I used to love those. Sometimes I wish I could take them off and bring it home and have it on display on my desk or something like that. But of course, Jaguar does a great job on their LED taillights all the way through, and then going all the way down. Look at this nice diffuser area. The one thing it's missing, wouldn't a nice quad tip exhaust look good right about now? WTF? Where the heck is the exhaust that should be showing? Let me know how you feel about that. But why don't I go ahead, let's pop the hood, and we're gonna talk about what does P300 name mean with this Jaguar. All right guys, we got the hood popped. You do have hood struts. Underneath the hood, semi-tasteful engine cover. And what's sad is there's no V6 or anything like that. You have a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. Now, because this is the P300 with all-wheel drive, what that means is that you're getting 296 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque. I want Steven to showcase. Look at how clear you can see the turbo down here. There she is. That turbocharged inline 4, made it to that ZF 8-speed automatic transmission. The car weighs 3,845 pounds. MPG's 22 in the city, 30 on the highway. So nice to see that you do get a power bump over your standard XF, because your standard XF has about 245 horsepower. This has almost 300 horsepower. That's why they call it the P300. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire this up and see it in motion. All right guys, business time in this all-wheel drive Jaguar XF. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, my grandpappy had a Jaguar E-Type, and I remember every Sunday morning he would take me for a drive in it. I kind of want to have a Jaguar and relive those memories, because it's been a while. I'm liking this one. How much is it? So MSRP for the all-wheel drive P300 with all the goodies, you're looking at right around $65,000. Let's see what you get for the money. To the door panels. I love the dark wood finish, that tan contrast stitching. We got the Meridian Premium sound system with 3 memory seats for the passenger and the driver. And then the two-tone is really bringing the door panel alive. Door pocket is a good enough size to where easily you could get, I would say, 4 Costco hot dogs in that door pocket. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, more of that beautiful contrast stitching. Love that real wood. Ow, almost got a splinter. Real wood finish here. More stitching, soft material. Come on in, you get that over 11-inch Pivi Pro system. Very easy to navigate through. And it's actually quite responsive, which is shocking to some, but I'm handling it quite well. Now, throw it into reverse. There's your backup camera. Like I told you, you have 360-degree camera. Put it back into park. Then I could go back to home, and we're right back. See, we're in St. Pete, Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete. You got your dual climate control knobs, and these do multiple things. Watch this. You hit it in. That's where you're going to get your ventilated seats and also heated seats, 3 stages. You pull it out, and that's where you could adjust the blower fan speed, which is really nice. So once you get the hang of it, it's really not that big of a deal. Wireless charging. This guy right here is going to control your ZF 8-speed. We got our mode selector knob. I'll show you more of that when you come to the business side. Start stop button, volume knob that you just scroll with your finger, 2 cup holders, the Jaguar key fob, which is great. You got that little triangle, that's for the Illuminati. You do have a place for 2 Twinkies and a 12-volt. Nice soft leather. Open it up. Look at this. We got a book in here. We don't want that. You do get a USB-C, USB-A, and enough room in there for that little snow globe that your grandmother gave you back when you were a kid, that she said that every time you shook it, an angel got its wings. So you can keep that in there. And then more leather. Soft stitching, ventilated, heated, nice bolstering. Power electric assist for the passenger, of course. Power electric assist for the driver. Love, just like a pussycat, love the Alcantara headliner. And then you have that one-touch operation for the sunroof. I just wish it was a panoramic sunroof. Let me know how you feel about that. But why don't you come over to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel with the Leaping Jag. Come on over. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. Like I said, you have 3 memory seat settings, Jaguar sill plate, nice touch, pedal box Plenty of room, aluminum brake pedal, dead pedal. The one zonk is I want an aluminum dead pedal. You do have all your seat controls with a nice aluminum finish on them. I'm 6 feet tall and there's plenty of room in here. This definitely feels more roomy than a G70 or a BMW 3 Series. Steering wheel, I'm digging it. Love the leather. I wish there was some contrast, some tan contrast stitching, but you got the leaping Jag, metal paddles that are ginormous behind the wheel for that ZF 8-speed, and then you got that digital gauge displays. Nice clear graphics. You got your navigation you could have in the center, and then you could also change your modes. We're gonna go what's considered sport mode, which is dynamic mode. Everything turns red. And then we have a nice head-up display, which is fantastic. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in the back seat and see if your passengers are gonna be happy that you went jolly old England for your sedan. And like I was saying, this is an area where there's definitely more room than a BMW 3 Series and a Genesis G70. Backs of the seats, the leather, I like the way they got the Jaguar name on the backs of the seats right there with the leaping Jaguar. You do have those pesky cargo nets, which I am gonna zonk, because if you put a dagger, a switchblade, something like that, even a Swiss Army knife in here, it's gonna rip right through that. You do have your rear AC vents, and you got a place to put one British Twinkie, USB-Cs, and a 12 volt. I have my own little pocket over here that I'll probably rip through in one sitting. But the seats are comfy. I love the stitching. The leather's nice and soft. Open this bad boy up. Semi-soft. 2 cup holders. Let's get to the trunk because I want to go all-wheel drive on throttle in this Jag. All right, guys, time to get in the trunk. Hit the button underneath the leaping Jag. Nice electric assist. Quite impressive what Jaguar has done with this XF. Very deep cargo area, almost 20 cubic feet of space. I like this all-weather protection with the Jaguar name. You do have a 12 volt to where you can plug in very easily. And definitely has more room than the competition, that's for sure. But it's not just about what's in the trunk or the junk you could put in your trunk. It's about the on-throttle experience. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go on throttle in this Jaguar XF R-Dynamic P300. We're leaving Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete. I'm in this 2024 Jaguar XF R-Dynamic P300 with the all-wheel drive. Right away, I really am digging the finishes in here. They did a great job of really making this car feel special with the stitching, the two-tone material, the real wood, and then that digital display. You got your tach, your speedometer, and your navigation in the center. Looking out the back, we have a nice digital rear view mirror. And the seats are comfy. You got just a little bit of bolster. I would like a little bit more bolstering, but they're really, really comfortable for those everyday commutes. Getting to the AC controls, very easy to do. And like I said, once you figure it out, you pull it out to adjust your blower fan. I just lowered it one level, and then here we are, pulling away from the light. At first, it doesn't feel like a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, but once you go on throttle, that's where you do feel the deficiency of the engine. But it is almost 300 horsepower, which is not too shabby. It's just hard because the competition you could get with more. And I think that's where the XF falls a little short. But with that amazing trunk space and rear seat volume for your passengers, I think that's where it comes back to lay the smackdown on the competition. Love the metal paddles, great quality on the steering wheel, and also all of the safety features. You got your lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring, nice head-up display that when you're in dynamic mode, it tells you what gear you're in if you're gonna paddle shift, and it's got a tachometer, which is kind of cool too. Getting out onto the highway, the XF rides really smoothly. They did great work with the suspension and the chassis. And then having that ZF 8-speed automatic, it's a great transmission, really does well at knowing where to be and exactly what gear to be in as you're driving. But I love having the navigation right in front of me, in between the tach and the speedometer. And definitely, like I said, the touches, the touch points, everything feels really high level and classy in here and I'm really enjoying that. But going down the road, it really is super smooth, and the transmission does a great job of keeping the revs right in the sweet spot. I want to see how this vehicle accelerates from a dead stop. So we're going to come up to this stop sign here. I'm going to leave it in automatic mode. If you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle. Not too shabby. 0 to 60 in about 6 seconds. You are getting some sound pumped in, but you know what? It doesn't sound too obnoxious, which is nice, and or too artificial. And you're not getting too much buzz from the 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, which is a pleasant surprise, because a lot of times those get a little buzzy when you have a 2-liter turbocharged engine. When you go on throttle, they get buzzy. But we're gonna go ahead and manually shift here with these paddles, and we're gonna come to a complete stop again. Remember, we have that all-wheel drive. Are you ready? Let's wait for that car in front of us to go just a little bit. Nice digital rear view mirror there. On throttle, here we go. All the way up. Like the way the tach changes colors. Tells you what gear you're in. On the brakes. Super nice. Look at that. It's interesting because it's got some body roll to it, but then once it sends the weight over, it's planted. So turn in is nice and crisp, but you are getting a little bit of body roll that until it totally sets in the corner, it feels a little floaty. So just something to be aware of. Definitely the G70 Sport, I feel, handles a little bit crisper than this does. Guys, once again, shifting with those massive paddles, and we're gonna go on throttle here. On throttle, here we go. All the way out to 6,500 RPM. Love the way that tach changes colors. Just wish there wasn't as much body roll. That's the only thing. Brakes could use a little bit extra beefiness, but still very competent and definitely very fun to drive. So that's the other nice piece of the equation. Visibility is fantastic out front, and I noticed that this thing makes a U-turn very, very nicely. Even on tighter areas, it's just a pleasure to spin around. On throttle, second gear. Nice large gear indicator on those brakes. See, once it sets, you're good. It's just you gotta wait for the body to get into its position, and that's where it's a little unsettling. If they would just kind of stiffen up those dampers a little bit, it definitely would make one hell of a difference. But I hope that you had a good overall experience seeing what this Jaguar XF R-Dynamic P300 is all about. We're gonna get back to where it all began and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, been another fun-filled day here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Petersburg. Definitely want to thank Miro and the rest of the team getting us this British racing green Jaguar XF. Slightly changed up for 2024. Let me know what you think. Is this the best new sport luxury sedan over the competition? Let me know your feelings in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Ladies Rides family. We need to give it up to Stephen Flood Photography. Crazy to think that just a few months ago on St. Patrick's Day, Stephen painted his whole body from head to toe in British racing green metallic. So that's how dedicated he is to the color of this car. Thank you, Stephen, for sharing your awesome camera taking capabilities and skills. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.